Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? Or good evening, wherever you're looking at it now. If you're not joining now and you're going to catch it later, whenever you catch this, good morning. How are you? My name is Coach Tanya. This is the Trauma Recovery Room, and today we're going to be talking about accepting when it's over. Accepting that relationship when it is over. So I'm going to allow a few minutes before anyone joins. If not, I'm gonna dive right on in and you can catch it later. I do want to start off saying that this content that I'm sharing today is only for those who are included in this particular live. So if you have any comments that you want to share, it will just be between those that are in here. And if there's only one, like I did a narcissistic strategy event yesterday, and it was just one person, so she had the conversation to herself pretty much. So I'm gonna get started in a minute. I do want to say that this is the Trauma Recovery Room. I'm Coach Tanya. I do want to introduce myself for those of you who do not know me and give you a little bit of background about myself and where the Trauma Recovery Room comes from. My name is Tanya K. Austin, and I am a struggle strategist, a mindset coach, and a self-love coach. The Trauma Recovery Room came from my life being filled with trauma and me learning how to recover from it. And I had to do it on my own. I grew up with a very emotionally damaging childhood that literally destroyed. And if you're joining on, please join on and say hello, I'm here or something so that I know. Because I'm on Facebook Live and I can't see anything until you comment. But I grew up with such a separate feel of love and connection to where when I got older, and I talk about this in my book, My Secret Life, which if you're interested in getting, you can let me know. And in that book, I talk about my childhood. And if you know my story, if you know, I had a very emotionally traumatic childhood. And that's what I do at the Trauma Recovery Room. I work with clients who had emotionally challenging childhoods. And throughout my life, I struggled with it, struggled with overcoming it, struggled with mastering how to get through it. So I help my clients do the same thing. And now I'm learning to live my life and walk in my purpose. So I help my clients do that as well. You can definitely reach me if you want to get a hold of the worksheet that comes with this, because there is a worksheet that comes with this. For the price that you paid, and you also will get a 60-minute strategy coaching call as well. So you can email me at Coach Tanya, the year 2020 at gmail.com, and then you can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/Coach Tanya's Tribe. So welcome to today. I just want to say greetings to you and thank you for joining me today. We are going to explore how to get to a place of being okay with being single and how to make life easier emotionally for you as you take this next chapter in your life on. As you take on this chapter, you learn how to free yourself from those things that have been holding you back and keeping you trapped and keeping you stuck, such as probably this relationship that you are having a difficult time struggling with letting go. I'm pretty sure that the relationship that you have been in was not that great, and the fact that it's over is actually a relief. I was just talking to a client yesterday and realizing that is your secret key to moving forward in your life. So you're going to learn how to let go of that relationship and live your life without them. And I know that it hurts. I know that it does not feel good to lose somebody, especially if you still love them, especially if this relationship this breakup came out of nowhere. especially if you want to work it out and they don't. So I get that that's hard. I get that that's challenging. Trust me, I know. Throughout my life, I've done nothing but had heartbreak. My first book that I wrote, Mending a Broken Heart, is based off of that. It was an experience that I had, and if you want information about that book, let me know. It's about an experience that I had with a particular guy that I really, really loved. I thought really, really loved me, but we had issues that separated us. So I broke it off with him, and it broke my heart. So I went through tools, and I gave you 10 key steps on how to get through a broken heart in that book. In my last book, I talk about my experience with domestic violence, and I talk about how my childhood affected my thought process as an adult, and how it allowed me to end up in a lot of toxic relationships. The last relationship that I just ended was very, very toxic. And I know for me at that point, when I got to the end of that relationship, I didn't struggle with leaving. I struggled with leaving prior to that point. So the struggle was real then, and I understand that it's real with you now. And when you get to that point of accepting that it's over, then that's when you can start to free yourself emotionally from the things that bothered you from way back when to the things that bothered you with them now. And you can move forward, and it's possible. It's attainable. If you want it, you can definitely get it. So the objectives for today are understanding your new reality through acceptance and love, realizing the importance of focus and self-love, identify your soul wounds, and learn how to heal from them. So how do you do any of these things? You first have to admit that you need to do them. And then you can follow along the 3 factors that I'm going to teach you and actually put in the work. So are you ready? I know I am. So let's go. So the 3 things you will do after this workshop. You will set new relationship goals because you're understanding that you're single now. And that's a new relationship. It's a new thought process. It's a new way of being. You're going to let your internal light shine. You're going to find ways that are going to influence you to do things that will give you the sense of your new life, or give you the renewed sense of facing your new life. And then you're going to set your emotional freedom in motion. So what are the 3 ways that you can do that? First, you're going to accept your new reality. You just got to accept it. And again, I know it hurts and I know it's hard, but you got to literally take that deep breath in and let it out. And while you're doing that, you got to tell yourself, it's over. It's over. It's over. And you got to keep telling yourself that. You have to condition your mind and really get to the point where you are accepting of the fact that this person is no longer in your life. No matter how it ended, whether it's they left you or you left them, it doesn't matter. You still have to accept the reality. And the reality is, and a lot of times we have that fear of that new reality. That reality, we don't know what it's going to be. So therefore you stay stuck in that previous relationship because you're scared to move forward, because you don't know what to expect. But the current relationship, you know what to expect. So it's difficult to let go because you don't want to accept the new reality. Then another way that you're going to do that is what I call self-overdosing. It's when you self-overdose. You're going to love yourself, feed yourself, connect with yourself, learn about yourself, grow, all kinds of things. You're going to put in all of the work that needs to be done. And the way that we do this, and this is number 3, the way that we do this through my process that I use is cognitive behavior therapy, shadow work, and inner child reparenting sessions. And what those are, I will explain about later. But this is just to give you a sense of what to expect today, and then from here on out. So the first thing we tackle today is accepting that this relationship is over. How in the hell do you do this? Like literally, especially like I said, if you're not ready for the relationship to end. It's challenging because you're not in your mind. You're not ready for this to be over. And because you're not ready, no matter what the circumstances are, you're still holding on to hope. You're still holding on with a prayer that things will get better. You still want it. You still desire, no matter if the relationship was toxic or not. You just have that sense. And it's based off of, when you can't accept reality, it's based off of fear. Again, going back to, you're scared of whatever that new reality is. So there are three things that must be present for you to accept and for manifestations of action to actually happen. The first thing is readiness. You have to be ready to accept this. You have to be ready to accept the fact that you will no longer share your life with this person. You will no longer be able to talk to them in the manner that you once did. And if you're lucky and the relationship is ending and it's still in a healthy state and you guys are still cool, that's a blessing. But you still, it still hurts because you know now that they're going to be doing those same things with somebody else and you can't do them with them. But that's something that we'll talk about a little later. But you have to be ready. The best way to one day to finally get through this is to know that it's coming, or that it's already here, and that it's going to take all of you, your mind, body, soul, spirit. It's going to take all of you to do it. You must get your mind right first. So when you have it in your mind that this is over with, then at that point, you move one step closer to letting go for good and finding better love. So it's a step and it's a process to that. Of course, it's just not you just ready and you wake up. But for some people it is, but you had to have gone through a lot to get to that point. But it is a process that I take you with, that I take you through, that you can learn if you decide to join and, figure things out with me. The second thing is courage. So it's going to take some bravery for you to walk down this dark and scary valley. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's freaking scary. Because the unknown is scary. But that's the purpose of the unknown. You don't need to know. You just need to walk through it. You need to be able to have faith that you're going to get through it. You need to know that God gave us 4 gifts. And the courage is one of them. It's already in you. You just have to know that it's there and start looking for it. God gave us 4 gifts. And in the Bible, it talks about spirits. He didn't give us the spirit of fear. So that's number 1. He gave us the spirit of not being fearful, which means that you are brave, and that means you have courage. The next one is love. That means that you are able to love yourself. And then when you love yourself, you can pour that love out to others. And then the universe can bring you that same love in return. God gave you the spirit of power. The power is knowing that you have power. The power is knowing that God gave you power to do whatever it is that you need to do. Whatever it is that you face, God gave you the power to do it. And that power is inside, which is the 4th gift he gave you, your sound mind. That power is inside your mind. Your mind is the tool that you use to maneuver through earth. The brain or the mind is probably, well, I won't even say probably, it's the most powerful computer on earth. I would say that out of all of the computers, so to speak, on earth, out of the programs, everything that's created, for one, somebody with a mind created it. That's number 1. But out of all the things that have brains or whatever, the human mind is the most powerful thing, and it has power in it because our thoughts create our reality. So whatever we're thinking, which is in our mind, creates the life that we are going to live. So fear was not put in you. So that means that there was something that was created within your life or in your mind that told you to be scared. And maybe you have a fear of being alone. Maybe you just don't want to be by yourself. And it doesn't matter how bad they treat you, it's somebody there. You can learn tools and ways to get through the navigation of the relationship, but it's somebody there. And I had that fear. I won't even lie. I had that fear that I was going to have to do things. If something broke in the house, I was going to have to fix it. And I knew I was going to sit there and cry because I didn't know how to do it. Because I've always allowed a man or somebody to take care of me. And separating from this individual, my last relationship and all the other ones which we were supposed to be teaching me, which I didn't learn because I was too busy repeat dating, which is where you jump from relationship to relationship and they're all the same. And I was too busy trying to hide and escape. And every time I did break up with them, it hurt even more because I couldn't hide behind them. And I thought that they were the perfect candidate for me to hide behind. And more than likely, they were terrible because all of the hurt and pain that I was experiencing, I could blame on them. Subconsciously, I'm thinking all this. I didn't know at the time that consciously, I just thought I was having fun and doing, following my heart. Subconsciously, I knew what I was doing because I knew that I wanted the truth to really come out. Because unconsciously, it was deeply hidden that I was wounded. I was sad. I was miserable. I was hurt. I was depressed. I felt unloved. I felt unappreciated. So the relationships that I got in, they made me feel a little better. And the bad parts about them, again, I could hide behind, which is why I ended up ultimately accepting abusive relationships. And that third thing that you're going to have is compassion. And once I started to have compassion for myself and understanding what it was that was actually going on, I was able to move forward. I was able to accept that this relationship was over. And I really loved him, and he was a terrible husband. Like literally terrible. But there was some good parts that I held on to. And that's when I say I loved him, that's the part. Those are the parts I actually did love. It wasn't the terrible part. I didn't love that. But those parts that were good, I held on to those parts. And that's what made me challenged with leaving. That's what made me be unable to accept the fact that this man was terrible to me. I couldn't accept it because I didn't have compassion on myself. I wasn't loving myself. I wasn't giving myself the benefit of the doubt. I wasn't honing in on my feelings. I wasn't paying attention to myself. I was accepting bullshit, period. And I was accepting that because I hadn't accepted that I was spiritually dead and I was on some unconscious, not knowing bullshit with myself. So there is nothing like being able to be okay with whatever the fuck happens. Seriously. Like seriously, whatever happens in your life. Whatever happens in your life. You know that it was allowed by the Creator. And it was supposed to take place for some reason. So that's why we have to understand that everything happens for a reason. Even this relationship ending, it happened for a reason, or it's happening for a reason. A reason that is unknown to you at this time, or maybe you do know, but you're still struggling with accepting it. I knew that marriage was not good for me, but I started to accept it when I started to have courage and start digging deep and figuring out what was going on and why I kept attracting these men, and not even just attracting them, because I still attract men that are not good, but accepting them in my life. I had to dig down deep and do that. And by doing that, it's when I started to get closer with God. And I tell my clients, and then I say in my videos all the time, on my search to fix him, I fix myself. So that's why it's important that having compassion for the situation and compassion for yourself, even having compassion for the person that's leaving. You just have to understand and get in the mindset that it's a part of God's plan. So this means that whatever they or you did, it's all a part of something that's greater. It's greater than what it looks like. It's greater than what it feels like. But ultimately, it's all building up to a sense of love so that you can understand God's process and just being human and when you're interacting with other people. So when you have all of these parts put together, your mind can begin its shift. And that's the key word. All three of these things combined will allow your mind to begin to shift in a new direction that's being designed for you, and you just have to adjust to it. And being single or without this person is that new direction that your mind needs to go in. So that means that you need to start shifting your mind of not having them in your life. That's pretty much what it is. So knowing that it's all for a divine reason is going to allow you to be able to do that better. So what's the next thing that you need for you to be able to accept that this relationship is over? This is what I call self-overdose. And how do you do that? I'm going to tell you 5 intricate, and that means that they are delicate and definitely must have. And there are other things, but these 5 things, and these 5 things, I went on a journey. I explored. I had to go through. So the first thing is self-love. So being single allows you the time to show yourself and your mind, because again, you're reconditioning your mind. So you have to change your mind, and know that when you change your mind, honey, you change your life. So you have to allow yourself and your mind as a single person to understand that those parts of you that you haven't gotten before, self-love, those things that you need, those things that are in your heart that you desire to have, that you want to come to you, you may have never seen them before, or it's been a long time. Self-love, being single, is the time for you to do that. So all of those things, if you like roses and you like them every Friday and he never did it for you, he used to always tell him, guess what? You ain't got to argue with him or nobody else. Send your own damn roses every Friday at 5 o'clock. Send them to yourself. If you can afford to do it, then do it. And if not, hell, draw some pictures of roses, and every Friday at 5 o'clock, send it on your phone. Something. You have to show yourself love. You are the only one that is required to do this. So ask yourself, what is it that your heart wants? What is it that you truly want? What is it that you truly want? And start seeking that. Start seeking it. Number 2 is self-esteem. So the way you view yourself, this will definitely determine how long it takes you to recover. Period. If you view yourself as somebody that still needs this person and there is no other option out there for you but this person, then you're going to struggle. And then you're going to join my 5-week struggle academy. You're going to struggle with the fact that this person is out of your life and you're not going to be able to move forward. So this is often what keeps us stuck and broken in toxic relationships. The viewpoint matters. Then hashtag views about you matter. So what is it that you are telling yourself about yourself? What is it? For me, it was, I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I was worthy of anything better. And I had to start digging deep and finding out what that reason or that false thinking or false thought, what was that about? I had to start digging deep and figuring that out. And when I started to do that, believe it, my self-esteem got higher, because my view about myself, the way I felt about myself, the way I treated myself, that self-love kicking in. The way that I allowed others to treat me, I viewed myself differently. I changed my mind about myself. Number 3, self-confidence. Self-confidence. You definitely have to know. You definitely have to know that whatever is being placed before you, that this is an opportunity or a space being created for you to go after whatever it is that you want. And you have to know that this space will take you to whatever that is. Again, when you go to the self-love and you start digging into yourself and going through that self-love and start doing stuff to treat yourself right, your self-esteem gets better, your confidence in your purpose in life increases. That fear that you had You can even do it scared. But know that that fear is only a sign that something you truly desire can be on the way. Something that you truly desire. There's a mystery that's on the way. That's why you're scared, because you don't know what to expect. You don't know what's coming. That fearful event is really a brave opportunity for you to overcome whatever it is that fear is. So if you have a fear of being alone, being single and accepting that this is your new place is your opportunity to tackle why you have a fear of being single. So that way being single won't be such a terrible thing to you. I used to think that being single was a terrible thing until I became single in this position. God showed me better. No, you think this is, no. Let me show you it's worse. It is worse. I would rather be single and alone without a man in my life anywhere than with any one man that's not treating me right. Period. I will never accept. I can't do it. If you're not doing anything right, that consistently I have to tell you, and it's a major factor of me functioning as a woman in your life, I can't mess with you. Because if I have to challenge you or keep telling you or begging you to do a certain thing that makes me better for you, what the fuck I need you for? I don't need you. And I've learned that. So approaching new relationships, if there are red flags, that's what you call them. If I notice red flags, and if I see red flags and they often appear, and I'm at the point now, if I see it up front, I'm block, delete. I'm not even trying to figure out what it is. Because if you first meeting somebody and you on bullshit that first day, imagine what the rest of the day is going to be. So I don't need to see nothing else. I got enough evidence. That's enough evidence for me. I've been through enough experiences to know that that's enough evidence that this motherfucker about to put you down. You about to go up and down and through there with this person. And I'm not having that. You're not having that. So accepting that you deserve better, that you can confidently achieve better, that better is out there for you, then you'll be fine. Number 4, self-reliance. This was important for me because my entire life have never had to do anything on my own. I've always had, from my father to even my ex-husband. I just divorced. Even though he was a jerk, he still did stuff that I didn't have to do, stuff that I didn't want to do. So when you know that a challenge is before you, and you know that you can see yourself through it, you don't need to depend on other people. You don't need to rely on other people. And God is teaching me that now in my life. As I experience that, I teach other people, because the things that I learn are breathtaking, they're revelatory, and they actually create action for you to shift your mindset, for you to actually start thinking differently. And when you start thinking differently, you feel differently. And when you feel differently, you act differently. And when you act differently, you get different results. So you have to understand that there's a reason why you're challenged with accepting the fact that this person no longer wants to spend their life with you. And even if you had to leave them, and are struggling with it, you have to accept the fact that they're not right for you, and you got to move on. Either or, you just have to simply accept, and you have to know that you can rely on that sound mind that God gave you. So even if you're struggling with thinking that you can't trust yourself because you don't think that you can make better decisions, and you're scared that you're going to get something worse, maybe that's a reason why you can't accept it. Maybe that's a reason why you don't want to leave. Because it can be somebody on here who's listening that you're in the relationship. Because I struggle with that, accepting the fact that this man that I loved, that I committed myself to, transform my whole life for, to fit in and, take over and do, be his wife. He wasn't right. And I kept forgiving. I kept holding on to hope and all of that. No, it wasn't right. I had to accept that. And I accepted that by learning. And again, on my journey of trying to heal him, I healed myself. My journey of trying to fix him, I fixed myself, and I healed from my pain. So knowing that you can tap into your gifts, which is that power, which is that sound mind, which is that love, which is that fearfulness, then you can dig out of any situation that you're faced with, like this one right now. But you must know that there is a power before it'll show up. Before your power shows up for you, you have to know that it's going to show up. You must want it, because it only shows up when you do. That's the thing. And people are waiting for the right time, or waiting for the strength, praying for the strength. No, you have to be the strength. You have to find ways to become strong in the areas that you're weak in. If you know your weakness is when they come around or when they do XYZ, then change the atmosphere so that doesn't happen. If you know that they are not going to be in your life right now, accept that, start making moves where they're not in your life. Don't think of them. When you think about them, get it out of your head. So, oh man, I forgot. Oh dang, we're not together anymore. Oh, I feel like talking to, no, you don't. Talk to yourself. Shit, read a book. Go on Facebook. Look at TV. Pray. Do something. You don't need to have this person in your life, especially if they're toxic, or especially if they're no good for you. Why would you want to stay with, and I struggle with that, wanting to, literally I struggle with, should I stay or should I go? But that's because I hadn't accepted the fact that this man was not right for me. He just wasn't right. The relationship wasn't right. And I had to let it go. So that last thing you need is to set your emotions free from pain and toxic memories of your past, including with the one you just lost. Including the one you just lost. So you have to set your emotions free. So the emotions that you're having, they're connected to pain. You have to set those free. So if you're sad, the opposite of sadness is happiness. Do things that create happiness. Start putting yourself in happy situations, happy environments. Listen to happy music, dance, sing. Listen to comedy shows, laugh. Look at cooking shows and mimic them while you're cooking, and do their voices. Have fun. Release those negative emotions from the toxic memories that you've experienced from your past, or even with this person. Release yourself from that. Let go of that, because as long as you hold on to it, it's going to stay with you. So how in the world do you do this? How in the world do you release these emotions and set yourself free? So the techniques that I found most effective for me and my clients are these 4 things. Shadow work. So shadow work is when you own up to those dark parts of yourself that have been lurking in the shadows of your mind, which is your unconscious mind. So I help you determine the difference between your unconscious mind, your subconscious mind, the conscious mind, and your superconscious mind. So those parts of the mind that make up the whole you. The soul is the subconscious mind. Then you have the conscious mind, which is everything that you see right now physically. You're consciously aware of it. You can actually see. The soul are those things that you know that they're there, but you don't know why you can't get there. Like, you know you want to achieve something, but you can't figure out why you're struggling with achieving it. And then you have the unconscious mind, which is that part that's where the shadow belongs, where you don't know what's going on. This is what's keeping you from achieving those goals. So the shadow work allows you to shine a light on those dark parts so that you can get through them. So the parts that you keep trying to drown out and hide, they keep resurfacing and popping back up. The shadow work allows you, when they pop up, for you to grab them and figure out why you keep popping up. So these are the parts of the mind that have been haunting you for too long. So the shadow work helps you to get through that. And then we do inner child healing work. This is when you go back to those places where those dark places or those shadows were developed. So where the shadows were created, the inner child healing takes you back there. It allows you to confront what is really true according to the creator in the universe, and show you that what you saw, which was falseness, it'll show you that those parts were false. It allows you to get you to see yourself in the right place and learning the right tools that you need to take that journey so that you can move forward. And accepting that a relationship is over, you're going to need some inner child healing to figure out, why are you struggling with letting them go? Like, what is it about this particular person that you just can't let go? Like, what are they really truly offering you that nobody else can? That you see them as the most valuable person, or the most the most eligible person to do this. What is it? Because clearly they don't think that about you if they separating. Or if you're leaving them, is accepting that it's over. You have to accept that. Let that be your reason. They don't see things, because you may really love somebody, but they're just not right for you, and they refuse to change, and you have to let that relationship go. You have to accept that. And that inner child healing work, it gets you to see yourself again in the right place, learning the right tools that'll help you guide yourself through that. So you get to learn, what is it about this particular person that you can't let go of. You figure out why you feel that way. And then number 3, we have what I use, cognitive behavior therapy. This is what the psychologist in me kicks in. Yeah, this is where I kick in my psychology degree. And actually going through this myself, through my childhood issues, never fully understanding it when I was going through it when I was younger. And then going to college and, studying psychology so heavy, and then living it out myself, and now experience it on a much more intimate level so that I can teach other people. The cognitive behavior therapy is where you get to rewrite those old stories that are filled with falsehoods and lies about you and your relationship with God and your life's purpose. So this type of therapy, just like shadow work, it puts you in control, because it's all based off of what's inside of your mind. So those false thoughts, look, they are farts. Those false thoughts are replaced with truths to start feeding your soul, which is your subconscious mind. It's still your mind. So those false thoughts are replaced, and you start putting new ones that are allowing you to free yourself from the burden of the lie in the first place. So you no longer have to believe the lie. You no longer have to feed the lie. You no longer have to entertain the lie. You don't have to talk to the lie. You don't have to run from the lie. You don't have to do anything, because that cognitive behavior therapy allows you to create new thoughts in your mind. So those thoughts, those bad memories, are no longer even a factor. They're no longer a factor to you, because you've gotten past whatever it is. So with being scared of being alone, you don't want to lose this person. This is an example. You're scared of being alone, so you don't want to lose this person. So the cognitive behavior therapy allows you to, whatever it is that through the shadow work and the inner child healing that was revealed, it tells you that, no, that's not true. This is true. And we do number 4, which is what we do next, the spiritual and emotional activities to complement all of it. So once you figure out what's going on, why it's going on, and where it stemmed from, then we can use the spiritual and emotional activities like prayer, learning mantras, clearing your chakras, meditations, intuitive readings to understand what's going on, chakra readings to see what's really going on inside of you, getting comfortable with your angels, getting comfortable with God, doing hands-on projects, hands-on activities like vision boards, stuff like that. And then mental reconditioning projects where it's like massaging the brain, and just think of the mind being tense and you dealing with all of these things that you're dealing with, these false truths, these lies about you, these false perceptions. That's why you're wearing that mask. That's why you are the way you are. Your conscious mindset is that mask that you're wearing. You know damn well you're not who you pretend to be every day. Because of when you was 12 years old, your daddy did this. When I was 12 years old, my father called me the dumbest child in the world. So I wore this mask trying to parade and prove that I was not stupid, not even realizing that I wasn't even stupid in the first place. So my natural gift is intelligence. God gave us that sound mind. My natural existence was I'm intelligent. But that one instance in my life destroyed that gift that God gave me. Parents are so cruel. They'll ruin your damn life. They definitely will. But it's your job and your responsibility to heal from all of that and get past that. And the cognitive behavior therapy, the shadow work, the inner child healing, the spiritual and emotional activities is what helps you to do that. It helps you to accept the fact that this person is no longer in your life. It helps you to realize that it's time to move on. And another thing, the beauty about all of this is this opportunity of being single. You get to rewrite your story, your life, your future. You have a chance to recreate the future that you want, because the relationship that's ended, it wasn't taking you towards that future. And even if you thought it was, the universe has something better for you, and letting you know now that it wasn't, because the next level that you're going to, this person can't go with you. So this is an opportunity to dig deep spiritually. That's why you practice the self-love and the self-confidence, and you do the self-overdosing. Because in the self-overdosing is where you realize that this is your life and it's about you being happy. And being with a person that does not make you happy is you sucking the soul out of yourself. They not doing nothing. They just finishing the touches. But you allowing it is you sucking the soul out of yourself. So when you can accept that this relationship was not right for you, even if it was healthy or whatever, you think it was healthy or whatever, understand that God has a greater plan. And whatever you're going through, remember that he wants to use this to shift you into a greater atmosphere. I have a workshop that's called, it's pretty much leveling up your faith. It's called Faith Moves Mountains. This is where you know that God is trying to level you up by leveling up your faith. You have to level up your faith in God. So your faith is a thought. Thoughts are energy. The universe operates from energy. God moves from your faith in him. So if you have in your mind, and faith, extreme faith is what God he's asking for at this time, because a lot of us are experiencing a lot of things during this COVID era. I have suffered a lot of losses, physical, spiritual, financial, a lot of losses, like literally. I had somebody go in my bank account and take literally all my money except 97 cents. Like literally. And that's after being fired from my job and my abusive husband leaving. So, and then that was after me tearing my car up and being unable to move and make even more money. When I say God is working in extreme fashions, we got to have extreme faith. And all he wanted from me was to see that he was there for me. He has been there for me. And it is the same thing in any experience that you face, including losing this person. So any experience that you face, remember those four gifts that God gave you. Those 4 gifts are what you need to get through your problems. Because once you understand that you don't have to, and being fearful, God know that we get scared. That's fine. But when that being scared cripples us from moving forward is when it turns into a fear. And that fear keeps us from moving forward. That's when it's a problem. And God didn't give us that spirit because he gave us that sound mind in order for us to change our mind. And he gave us the power to change the sound mind. The sound mind is saying, no, this is not working. The power in you is going to give you the ability to dig deep and love yourself. Love yourself to not be scared to face this and face it. So those 4 gifts are what God gave you to maneuver this world that we face. And you have to know that. And when you know that in your mind, and that's why I teach about the 4 parts of the mind. When you know all of that, when your subconscious mind has your unconscious and your conscious mind tamed and it's all working in unison, That's when you step into the superconscious element, which is where your godlike sense kicks in. That's when you are confident and you know your purpose for life and you're living it out. You know that there's source and a greater thing to everything you place that you face, and you know to put meaning to everything that you see. You are super conscious of life. You are aware. You have become aware, and that's what God created us all to be. But we will never get there if we don't use our 4 gifts. Those 4 gifts are our secret tools. And people think it's having a lot of money or having a lot of friends or being in relationships. No, it's not. It's not. It's those 4 things. Those 4 things will let God know, 1, that you are a believer of him and his word about you. And I have a little mini course that I teach about self-confidence in you. It teaches you how to break down that self-confidence so that you can understand the importance of it. It carries a lot of weight. But God wants you to know that you are capable and able of doing anything that comes your way. So anything that Satan, and we got to realize we give him too much power. He there, but he just manipulates. But the enemy is in your mind. That's what convinces you to do those things. But Satan taps into those insecurities that you have and those mindsets. Satan works in the lower form. God works in the higher form. So God is with the subconscious mind. Satan is in the unconscious mind. Satan knows your weak parts. That's why he puts things around you. But the enemy is that your mind. It's in your mind. So your enemy is your negative thinking. Your accepting of things that are not good for you, like not letting go of this person. That's your enemy. It's nothing else. But when you tap into your 4 gifts that were given to you at birth, it becomes easier for you to get through things. So what next? That's pretty much all I have on the subject at hand, rather. But what's next? What is next? What should you do now? Now that you have all of this good information, now that you have a better understanding of what all of this is all about, and then knowing this, I forgot to mention this, I believe, knowing that this relationship is ending at this particular time for this particular reason. Even if it's been 2-3 months ago. Even if it's been 2-3 months ago, and that's why you're struggling with accepting it. Even if physically it's been a year, it does not matter. That relationship happened for a reason at a certain time. It has a specific and divine reason for taking place. And this is your time to figure out what that is. So with this program, you also get your 60-minute strategy coaching call, which allows us to take all of these concepts that we learn, get all of the puzzle pieces together, and put them into an attainable vision and goal that you can achieve. There's a website that you can go to that I will send to you. Because once you're getting this package and you get the worksheet, you'll see it. But you can go on that website and you go to services and rates, and it's the second selection. It says clearly 60 minutes webinar strategy call. You're going to book that call. And when you do that, then we can sit and talk about the other ways that I can serve you along the journey that your soul is desiring for you to take. So when you get on that 60-minute call, we'll sit down and see where this fear of you not wanting to be without this person comes from. So on that 60-minute call, we're going to strategically create a map. And you're going to walk away knowing something about what's going on. So even if you don't decide to move further and join one of the other programs, you're going to at least walk away knowing what's wrong. And when you're ready to come back and to do what it takes to get through it, then I'll definitely be here. And then you want to make sure that you follow me on Facebook. My Facebook is facebook.com/Coach Tanya's Tribe. And that's Tanya with the O, not an A. Facebook.com/ Coach Tanya's Tribe. And then that way you can stay up on the latest tips and news and advice and products and services that I have. So all of the things that I offer. And then also if you go on that website, which is HTTPS, the colons and the slash, 2 slashes, app.yottled, YOTTLED.com/Coach Tanya. That's where you're going to go for services and rates. But on there also are the other programs that I have. So when you go on that website, you can check out everything. And that's not even everything that I do. I'm still working on a lot of projects. Like I don't have my, well, actually I have some of the courses from my academy, but I don't have my academy because I'm actually trying to put together a signature program. I'm in the works of doing that to where I'm taking elements of my university that I've created, which is where you can go on my, where there's a site that I have where you can, you get to pick, well, which actually the site that you're going on is going to give you a list of all of the courses, so to speak, that you can take. So you can do it a la carte, where, like I said, you might have a course that works on self-esteem. And then you might have it like this particular course. You have a strategy session. So just like this is set up, this particular topic that I'm talking about, it'll be another topic. And with that, you'll get the strategy session. So some of them are mini courses that 2-3 weeks time you can achieve. They're on your own. Some of them are hands-on. I do have my 5-week Struggle Strategy Academy, which is where I do actually, that's a group thing, that's a group project, where I'll be doing group coaching, where it'll be weekly Facebook Lives and weekly Q&As, and then the actual coaching session. And then you're going to get the worksheets and all of that to go with it. Like this course right now, you're getting a worksheet. And this worksheet is simply just going over the webinar. And the reason is not as graphic or detailed or as much shadow work, because normally I'll do a lot more shadow work on the worksheets, but those are the ones that are designed, that I don't include the coaching sessions with the particular program. So those may be $20, but you're just getting the video that I'm doing in the worksheet. This one is a lot more hands-on. So not only are you getting this video to keep, and it's yours, and remember, as long as you're paid, nobody else can get this. This is always your content, and you can download it and keep it. And then you're also getting that strategy session along with the worksheet. So in the strategy sessions, there'll be work. The shadow work will be in the sessions. So I don't really put it on these particular worksheets. But if you do get the work, when you do get the worksheet, you'll see that I do ask you a couple of questions so that you can kind of get your mind thinking. Because there's one thing about the brain that many of us do not know. Once it is stuck on something, it is stuck. It is going to take a lot of information, reload it, reloaded to change it. So that's what I do in my programs. I help you to reload your brain with new information so that it's easier for you to change from the old information. And then that shift that you need, that click in your brain that you need, it actually gets to take place, because you're actually not only doing the faith, but you're doing the works. And you know that faith without works is dead. And you know that God moves off of your faith. The universe moves off of your works. Your mindset connects you to both of them. And then if you want to learn about chakras and chakra clearing, I do have my 8-week chakra clearing program where we go through all 7 chakras. And if you're not familiar with chakras, I go into detail into that. You can find that about, you can actually inbox me for that or send me an email if you're interested about chakras. But that's the energy forces that connect you to the universe pretty much. Because the universe is not a physical thing. God is not a physical thing. But there's a connection that we have between God and the universe. And the chakras are those connections. It's those energetic portals that are on our body. So it's 7 parts of the body. 7 parts of the body. And one of them being the crown, which is your head, your thoughts. And if your thoughts are not right, the way you're thinking about yourself, then the other chakras will be out of balance because your heart won't operate right. You know, your third eye, your intuition, it just flows. So I teach you about the chakras and all of that. And when you learn about the tools that you have available for you, besides sitting here dwelling on this person not being in your life, then it's easier for you to see that those other options are definitely available for you. You just have to go get them. You just have to go do the work. So is the fear that you don't want to do the work? Is that the fear? Is that why you can't accept this relationship? Is that why you don't want to move on? Is that why you still want to be with them? What are they feeding to you? What are they feeding? What are they feeding your mind? What are they feeding your mind? Why is your mind stuck on having them in your life? What major, real, true benefit do they give you? So that is just something to think about. Oh my God, I really enjoyed this show. I hope that it was a benefit to you. I hope that I hear from you soon so that you can get that 60-minute strategy session going in. I am excited and I can't wait to hear from you. And I don't know if anybody is on this live. I haven't seen anything, so that doesn't matter. That's neither here nor there. I know that when you are here now, even if it's tomorrow or next week, whatever, I know that when you hear this message is going to be for you. So you'll definitely appreciate that you have come here and gotten this good information. And the price is included. I mean, nothing changes. So as soon as you hear this, you're going to make that call. You're going to schedule that appointment. We're going to get things going. And we're going to get you in a position to where you can move forward in your life, where you can accept your reality and your truth, where you can be okay with being single, and you can create the life that you want. So if you want a man that's going to be good to you, that's never going to leave you again, then this being single is your opportunity. This is your time. For the universe is listening to you. The universe is asking you, what is it that you want? Yes, they're gone. You might want them, but they're gone. What is it that you want? You want somebody that's going to love you and respect you and trust you and keep you safe and protect you and, and lead you. As a man, he's supposed to lead you and protect you. And you want that, and the universe is going to give you that. And being single and separated from this person, this is your opportunity. The universe is literally asking you, hello, welcome to universe. Can I take your order? Literally. The universe is literally asking you, what is it that you want? And being in that understanding, that energy space, having that positive mindset, loving yourself, showing yourself the love, because the universe is going to see that when you start loving yourself, it's going to send loving situations to you. The reason you've experienced bad situations is because you don't have that self-love. You're loving yourself bad. The reason you're unable to accept this relationship being over is because you still have a relationship with yourself that you can't even accept. There are things that the universe is teaching you, and it's time for you to open your eyes and to see them. And when you stay blind to the facts and the truth, because it's way deeper than you just sad and your heart broke. It's way deeper than that, because the question then becomes why? Why are you so sad that this one person, you know how many other people are out there for you? And it may take some time to get them, but so what? Because in that time of being single, you get to create and manifest that particular person to come before you through your thoughts. You get to change your mind. You get to change your life. So this is your girl, Coach Tanya. Oh my God, I love you guys. I definitely want to say thank you so much for joining me. I want to say that you better have a wonderful day. You better make that call, and you better sit down and sit and commit to yourself. Because my dear, and if there's a man on here who's looking for a woman, you want a good woman that's going to treat you right, that's going to nurture you right, not treat you like your mama. She's going to be similar to your good parts of your mother that you liked. But she's definitely not going to be your mother. She's going to be your partner, somebody that you respect because she respects you, because she is able to respect herself enough to know that she deserves a good man. So it worked both ways. But understanding that this relationship is over, guys, that's just what it is. It is what it is. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Know that it is okay. All is well, and this too shall pass. Have a good day.